News Radio 840 WHAS. Coming up on today's Louisville Real Estate Show, what happens if you move into a new house, you got stuff to throw away? Well, we've got help. We really do. What if you're buying a home and you find out that it's smaller than you thought? Is there anything you can do? And we've got some important tips to reduce your electric bills this winter. Everybody, Bob Sokoler, owner of the Sokoler team, RE/MAX Properties East. Hope you're having a good Sunday. We've got a great show, a lot of questions for you, and some help along the way. Stick with us till the top of the hour. First, we want to thank and welcome to us Lee Harris. She is the legal counsel over at Limestone Title and Escrow. They do a great job getting your loan closed. You can reach Lee at Limestone, and this is her cell phone for advice, 649-7964. Also here, Randy Rocky. He is one of the head guys over at Swan Financial. They do a spectacular job, and I can tell you from personal experience of getting you pre-approved and to the closing table using some high technology, which makes it very easy. You can reach Randy now or in the future, 645-0736. And if you are thinking of selling your home now or in the near future, I would love to help you. I own the Sokoler team at RE/MAX Properties East. Bob Sokoler, you may have heard of me, and hopefully we had a great feedback from one of our sellers who just loves and listens to the show. Cindy, thank you for the feedback. You can reach me. No home too big, no home too small, and you can could be in Indiana or the Louisville, Kentucky area. You can reach me at 376-5483 or go to bobsellslouisville.com, fill out the form, hit submit. And if you want an instant analysis of what your home is worth, go to WeSellLouisville.com and click at the top of the page. All right. Let's just do a quick poll. Let's start with Lee. Do you have a lot of stuff with the holidays coming? A lot of people are going to be getting new equipment, new things, and they're going to want to throw things out. And likewise, if you're planning on moving, now's the time to start decluttering and getting rid of stuff. Do you donate your stuff, Lee? Do you give it to people? What do you do with their old stuff?
I generally give my old stuff to Goodwill. So
Okay.
Yes, I donate a vast majority of it.
Randy, how about yourself?
We donate, yes.
Donate. And I do too, but we got this email from Emily. She said she just moved into her new home and has a lot of stuff she needs to throw away, and she's wondering if there's a place she can bring things to recycle a lot of items so she doesn't fill up the landfills. And so I did some research. A lot of people go and get new electronics, during the holiday season that's coming up. They want to throw the old ones away. And there's some places you may want to consider going to. For example, things that you didn't know. Best Buy. The big box appliance store, they're also an actual leader in recycling. They have recycled 2.7 billion pounds of e-waste since 2009, and you can recycle up to 3 household items per day. And apparently, for about $200, actually come out and pick up and haul your stuff away. A lot of times, places like Salvation Army, I don't think they're taking donations like electronics. So, also, Home Depot requires a number of items, or they actually recycle a number of items like lithium iron batteries, plastic bags, cardboard boxes, fluorescent compact lights, and more. Staples will recycle old office supply and electronics. In fact, they may end up paying you for it because they'll give you a rewards card, $5 or so, $2 or so. That's not bad. Walmart takes used old cell phones, Bluetooth speakers, laptops, gaming consoles, tablets, and more. And you can actually attempt to sell back Apple products to Apple if you're going to upgrade and trade them in for another higher quality or newer. And don't forget, when you're donating Habitat for Humanity, they have what's called a restore. There are 900 locations nationwide. I'm not sure if they have one in Louisville. And they'll take appliances, furniture, various household items, and building materials. And those are some of the places you can bring some of the stuff you want to get rid of, as opposed to just putting it in the landfill and tossing it away. I know putting it in the landfill is a lot easier, but let's face it, sometimes you want to do right by Mother Nature and not fill up our landfills. All right, let's go to Lee Harris over at Limestone Title for the first question. Kelly sent us an email saying she signed a contract to purchase a house, $200,000, Lee. Property listed in the multiple listing service as 2,100 square feet on the first and second floors combined. Kelly says she thought it felt a little smaller than the 2,100 square feet that was listed. And she says when she asked her realtor, was told to wait for the appraisal and see. And when the appraisal came back, that was worth $200,000, but also noted the actual square footage was 1,700 square feet. So that's a pretty good discrepancy, about 400 square feet less than disclosed. And Kelly wants to know, Can she back out of the deal? Can she renegotiate the deal? Shouldn't the appraiser have flagged this and reduced the price? What are your thoughts, Lee?
Yes, that's a great question, Kelly. So this comes up a lot because there is a rule in Kentucky that says that if the square footage is off or the acreage is off, depending on what you're purchasing, by 10% plus or minus, then you have a right to void that contract. However, there is a timing issue, which is if you're in Louisville, the timing is 15 days. That's what your contract says. You have 15 days to verify. If it's off by more than 10%, either way, then you can void the contract with no questions asked. If it's after that time and the appraiser says that the property is worth the amount, despite the disparity in the square footage, it's tough to say there's damages if you're paying 200 and the appraiser says based on the market it's worth 200. The question then would be, why did it say 2,100 when it's actually 1,700? Was the source wrong? Were they intentionally saying it was bigger than it was to make the house look better? So if there's some kind of misrepresentation, then you have a second chance to say, hey, look, we didn't have a meeting of the minds. But if it's simply an error, then it's hard to prove damages unless the property doesn't appraise for what you paid.
Shouldn't the appraiser have flagged the difference in square footage, or does the appraiser even have the listing, MLS listing, to show what the square footage was?
Usually they have the contract and the listing, but I don't know if they're saying that it's coming in at purchase price from the contract. They might not flag it because they're saying, hey, it doesn't matter if they brought it down, $25,000 or $50,000 because of the discrepancy. They would say, well, it's because it's way smaller than advertised. But I guess they didn't flag it because it didn't make a difference in their market analysis.
I always thought that if there was a 10% or more difference in what was listed as what it relates to in real life, that there would be an adjustment by an appraiser, but maybe this is no longer being done. You just never know where the appraiser is coming from. Yeah.
Right.
A reminder, if you'd like to see a rebroadcast, actually see the show, you can go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's a redirect to our YouTube channel where this show resides. And if you're thinking about selling your home, I would love for you to review us, the Sokoler team, both buying and selling. To see our reviews, go to LouisvilleGoogle.com or LouisvilleZillow.com. Those are URLs that will direct you directly to our reviews on those sites. Over to Randy Rocky, Swan Financial. Randy, Olivia going to buy a new home, and in the email she sent us, that's, by the way, Bob at WeSellLouisville.com. You can send one anytime, folks, and I'll put it on the air. She's wondering whether she should go for a fixed-rate loan or adjustable mortgage, since mortgage rates are supposedly going to be coming down. Randy, this is a question we see from time to time. What are your thoughts on adjustable versus fixed at the moment?
Well, due to the fact that it seems to follow prime. When prime is up, which is short-term rates, which is what the Feds change, and actually we should get a change here shortly again, another quarter of a point. Yeah. Adjustable rate mortgages don't seem to be as advantageous as when prime is down. So right now there's not, we have a second home product and a jumbo product arm that's incredible. But as far as if it's underneath a $780,000 loan, then $790 somewhere in that area now, then you probably will save money by just going about with a fixed rate. But if it's a second home or it's a large loan amount, then adjustable rate will play.
While we're on this topic, a little different. There is a question, if rates come down, a lot of people have homes, including myself, that are rates are in the 6s or 7%. If, let's say, they come down, at what point, if we're planning on staying in our home, at what point should we consider refinancing the house?
It depends on loan amount, and it can be as little as 0.5%. So what I'm doing with clients, and if anybody on here wants to do this, is I put together a strike rate for you. So we go over where your current rate is, what your payment is, and then I send you an actual breakdown of a loan estimate to you going, okay, if the rate hits this, would you want to, you will save X amount of dollars, $200, $300, $400, whatever it is a month. Would you want to refinance? Or sometimes they want to do debt consolidation as well. So if you want to get in that, because when things get busy, it's hard to get a hold of somebody, and also rates are very volatile, as you guys know that are on here with us. They're very volatile. So when that rate strikes, then we go ahead and lock it and then call you and go, hey, we hit the strike rate, and you decide if you want to move forward or not. So, but yes, it could be as little as 0.5 point.
Got it. All right. A reminder that if you're thinking of selling, we have a free, no obligation booklet that has 150 plus tips on getting your home ready and beyond. Send me an email, bob@wesellllouisville.com. Put selling tips in the subject line, and I will send that out to you via email immediately. Back over to Lee Harris over at Limestone Title. Brandy sent us an email asking for advice on how to get her ex-husband's name off the mortgage and deed to the house. And Brandy, you may want to jump in on this as well. Brandy says she's been divorced 5 years and his name is still on the paperwork. We see this one from time to time. Lee Harris.
Yes. So generally speaking, when you have a divorce, if there's any property like real estate, you would have a settlement agreement that says who gets it. I think in this case, Brandy appears to have gotten the marital home, but they had a mortgage on it, which both of them are on. Generally, they're going to have to refinance that loan in order to get the ex-husband off of the loan. And then, of course, he would quitclaim his interest. If he's on the deed, he could quitclaim that to her. That should have all been addressed in their settlement agreement. If it wasn't, then hopefully they're on good terms and they can get that done now. But the lender is, loaned on both of their credits. And so is probably relying upon both of them for that loan. And they're not just going to probably take him off, so to speak. And you have to do a deed to get him off the title.
And you need to then refinance, Brandy,
Yes.
I guess, at this point. And she's got to be able to afford the house in her name only, right?
Oh, yes. And sometimes it's very easy and sometimes it gets really ugly because they can't refinance it. And then it's usually and Lee, you can comment on this. A lot of times they have to sell if it's in a divorce decree and they don't do it within 12 months. If they don't refinance, and then they can take them back to court and say, hey, look, if you can't refinance, then only way we can make this go away is if we sell the home.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes, and it happens a lot. So,
Yes.
if you had two incomes and now you're looking at one, sometimes
Right.
that's not going to fly.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got some important tips to reduce your electric bill this winter. Continuing with us, Randy Rocky, he's one of the head guys over at Swan Financial. They shop your loan to get you the best rate. You can give Randy a call at 502-645-0736. Also continuing with us after the break, Lee Harris, legal counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow. They do a phenomenal job of getting your loan closed, very detailed oriented, but also making a nice experience. You can reach Lee at 649-7964. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the near future, I'd love to be able to help you. No home too big, no home too small. You call me for a free, no obligation analysis. I'll come out if you want. We'll talk as long as you want, and we can come up with a game plan for you and what you want to do. You can reach me on my cell phone, 376-5483, or go to bobsellslouisville.com and fill out the form, hit submit. And if you want a free analysis of what your home is worth immediately by computer, go to wesellllouisville.com. That's our main website, wesellllouisville.com. And at the top of the page, click on the button for what's your home worth and fill that out, and it will come to you immediately. We're back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler, the Louisville Real Estate Show. Hello, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us. We're here till the top of the hour, continuing with us, Lee Harris, who's legal counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow, LLC. They do a great job of getting your loan closed. Don't forget to taste their cookies, because they do give those out and they're delicious. But they also are very detailed oriented, and it's just a great experience. You can reach Lee on her personal cell phone, and she's available for agent's advice as well at 502-649-7964. Also, Randy Rocky continues with us with Swan Financial. You can reach Randy. They do a great job shopping your loan, getting the best rates, either buying or refinancing. You can reach Randy at 645-0736. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the near future, you can call me. I would love to help you, whether you're buying or selling. No home too big, no home too small. I work in both Louisville, surrounding counties, and southern Indiana. And you can reach me on my cell phone for a free, no obligation analysis. I'll come out in person, we'll talk, or by phone. 376-5483 is my direct cell phone number. Or go to bobsellslouisville.com, fill out the form, and hit submit. And you can also get a free analysis of what your home is worth via computer by going to Louisville, wesellllouisville.com. That's wesellllouisville.com, and click on the top of the page. Janice wrote us an email. She says, help! I just opened up my electric bill and my jaw dropped. It was higher than ever. What happened? So I don't know if Lee, Randy, have you opened a bill lately and been shocked?
Well, I have mine on the same amount every month. So I know some months I'm paying over, but that's, so I don't get shocked because they average it out per month.
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, Randy, how about you?
Well, I live on the lake now, so we live in a rural area, and Glasgow. I'm Barron, and I don't. Our electric bill is very inexpensive. Our water bill is ridiculous. You guys would be shocked at our water bill. So it's
Good.
both of them are very inexpensive.
Well, good for both of you. I open my bill and I hold my breath while I look at the amount. So, yeah, it happens all the time to a lot of us. So, one of the things that could be a culprit is an electric furnace. Could be the problem if you're wondering what uses the most electricity in a home. Electric furnace is usually the culprit, and especially in cold weather, it gets fired up and gets going. So, aging refrigerators can also be energy hogs. The average useful life, by the way, of a fridge is around 10 to 17 years, but after 8 to 10 years, the door seals can begin to wear out. The worn areas can allow cool air to leak out of the refrigerator compartment, which results in the fridge working overtime to keep perishable foods cold. You can also think about keeping a spare fridge if you have room in the house or in the garage. That, if you do have that, will increase your electric bill, give you more storage though. Many homeowners like to keep the freezer in the basement, and according to Energy Star Gov, the extra appliance increases your electric bill by about $125 a year. So if you have that extra freezer, that may be one of the problems. Your hot water heater's temperature may also be too high if it's electric, or even if it's gas. When you purchase a water heater, it often comes with a temperature preset to 140 degrees. And according to the Department of Energy, however, a temperature of 120 degrees Fahrenheit is plenty hot enough for most households. So by turning the water heater's thermostat down by 20 degrees, you save 6 to 10% on your water bill and expenses. And so just remember, if you're turning it down, if you got a lot of people using the house, that you need to check the recovery time. You may have to bring it back up again, but it's worth a shot, right? To bring it down to see if you'll save some money.
Sure.
Frequent dryer use can raise your bill. Drying a load of laundry every day will add $122.20 to your annual electric bill. And older incandescent light bulbs, if you haven't changed those out now, this is the time to think about changing from incandescent over to the LED bulbs. I'd pass on the CFL. Those are those squirrely ones that go in circles. No, I'd go to LED. The average household could save $225 a year on lights bills by going to LED. Also think about using appliances during peak hours. Don't use it because it's pricey. During that, you want to do off-peak, find out when off-peak is in your area, and when it changes from year to year to time of the year. Someone also could be stealing your electricity. Make sure your neighbor isn't plugged into your, right? Because that
my dad had that happen at the farm. They were stealing electricity for a long time.
Sure, it happens all the time.
Crazy. It was.
Not good. Not good. No. All right. Emails coming in. Kaylee has an apartment, Brandy Rocky, right now, and her lease is up at the end of June. She's wondering how much time should she allow to find a home and then get the loan process going. How long should she expect before she can close and move into it? A couple of good questions there.
Well, great question. My opinion is, like, I have my credit pulled every 3 months just to make sure there's not any fraud on it. A lot of people believe that your credit score drops. I think when you're looking to purchase a home, it doesn't. But that doesn't mean, that's just an opinion. But if I was this person, I would absolutely start right now. Here's why. Because if there's something that's on the credit that she doesn't know about that is bad, we will hopefully have time to fix it. That she'll have time to fix it, I should say, before she purchases. Did you say June? Is that correct?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes. So that's what I would do. I would pull the credit. Now, we have to re-pull again because we can't be more than 120 days on the credit report. But I would start right now, in my opinion, on the credit part. And also to could tell her where she's at on budget. And we could talk about down payment or no down payment, 0% loans down, but what the difference in payment would be. So there would be a lot of reasons why this is the biggest investment of most people's lives. And it would be a lot of reasons why I would start right now.
Okay. All right. We move back over to Lee Harris over at Limestone Title. Yolanda purchased a home last year. She was never told there was a homeowner association that was collecting $1,200 a year. Now she's got a bill and a past due notice, and she says should it have been disclosed in the home disclosure, or should the closing attorney have caught that potential problem? Lee Harris?
Yes, that should have been disclosed. There is a question on the seller disclosure form that you should have received when you purchased your home or when you were looking at it. And there's a question, are there any HOAs? If so, who's the contact? And also, how much is the annual fee, monthly fee, whatever it is. So you might want to go back to your seller disclosure form if you have a copy or get one from your realtor and see what the seller answered there. Because if they did not answer correctly, then you may have at least somewhat of a claim against them for this unexpected expense. But yes, if it says that, if it checks off that in the listing or in the disclosure or in the contract that there is an HOA, then the closing company will contact that HOA president or treasurer. Will find out how much it is. They'll find out how much is due. They'll prorate it. All of that will happen. If it says no, then they probably just assumed that there wasn't one. So that definitely goes back to the seller and what they disclosed.
And it sounds like you're saying also, maybe I'm missing this, but the attorney should have caught this in closing.
If they had knowledge that if there was anything that would lead them to believe that that neighborhood had an HOA, yes.
Okay, good. Randy Rocky, Swan Financial. James asking a question via email. What is private mortgage insurance, and does he really need it? Ready?
Oh, nobody wants it. It's when you put down less than 20% on a home on a conventional loan, and on an FHA loan, unless you put down 10% or more, it's on the life of the loan, the PMI. But there are situations right now where even an FHA loan, even with the upfront funding fee, and I won't get into too much detail of all this, but net, it's still a better option than conventional because the rates are so much less. So private mortgage insurance is on a conventional loan until you have 20% equity in the house. So if your house is worth $300,000 and your loan is $240,000, that's when the private mortgage insurance would come off. And it varies from, depending on the loan amount and size and product, between $60 a month, and usually doesn't seem now to go much more than $200 a month.
Okay, so again, the short part of that is you need it until you're at least 20% vested in the house. And Randy, you may not be notified when you hit that, right? You want to check on that on a regular
basis. Absolutely. And that's something that your loan officer hopefully will do with you, knowing that, hey, it should take 2.5, 3 years if the strike rate doesn't happen first, where you refinance. And hey, this is, because appreciation's between right now about 5% annually on homes. They're talking about it maybe being 3.5 next year, but it was 5.6 nationally this year is what it's going to come in at. So, when you're talking to your loan officer, make sure you say, hey, when should I call? That's a great point, Bob. When should I call and tell them, hey, I need to get this PMI off? Because you're exactly right. They're not going to do it unless you call them on that scenario.
A reminder, you can see a rebroadcast of this show by going to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's a video version. We hold it on YouTube, LouisvilleAnswers.com. And also, if you want to see what sellers are actually saying about us, I have done interviews with our sellers at the closing table. You can go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. That's LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. Final question for Lee Harris. Raphael sent us this email. Apparently, his uncle passed away earlier this year and left no will. He did not have any children, and he was never married. His brothers have been named heirs in the estate. Raphael is wondering if the brothers are legally responsible for paying the mortgage on that house and that was owned, and if they do not pay the mortgage and the bank forecloses on it, will the brothers' credit be affected? Lee?
Well, that's a great question, Raphael. So if it's still in the name of the deceased brother and it hasn't gone through probate yet and it's still in the name of the estate and no one pays the mortgage, eventually the mortgage company is going to foreclose on it and it would still be in the name of the previous owner. If it's already gone through probate and it's now in their names, then it is their property now and they would need to sell it if they don't want to pay the mortgage. Hopefully there's enough equity there to pay it off and maybe get a little for the heirs. But yes, once it becomes their property, then they're responsible for it. Before that, the estate is responsible to pay those bills if there's money in the estate to do so.
So if it goes into their names and they default on the mortgage, then it will hurt their credit rating. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes. So I think they should probably just sell it. If they don't want it or they don't want to pay the outstanding mortgage, the best thing to do is just to say, hey, let's sell this and before it goes into foreclosure. Yeah. You have quite a lot of time to do that. And
we it's funny that you say that because just this past week, got a call. There was similar situation. In this case, this seller inherited this home from a friend who passed away. He had it rented, but it was a real chore to have it rented. So he asked me to sell it. We listed it on, I think it was Monday, 4 offers by Tuesday, accepted offer by Wednesday, well over price. He's happy and it's off his back. So yeah, and even today, this day and age, we're selling homes. You just, if you need to ready to do it, then you need to do it and give a call. Our thanks to Randy Rocky. He's one of the head guys at Swan Financial. They shop your loan, get you the best rate, and they do a great job with some really great technology that makes it easy for you to apply and get pre-approved. You can reach Randy at 645-0736. Also, my thanks to Lee Harris, who's legal counsel at Limestone Title and Escrow, LLC. Not only does Limestone do a great job getting your loan closed, Lee is a great source for you as a consumer and also for real estate agents. She's the former legal counsel for the Real Estate Commission here in Kentucky, so she knows her stuff. You can reach Lee and Limestone anytime, 649-7964. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the near future, I would love to help you. It's free, no obligation for me to come out and talk to you, or if you want to do it by Zoom or by phone, more than happy to do that as well. I'll spend as much time as you need. We'll talk about the process, and I work both in Southern Indiana and Louisville and surrounding counties. No home too big, no home too small. You can reach me on my cell phone, 376-5483. Go to bobsellslouisville.com and fill out the form and hit submit. Or if you want an instant analysis by a computer, mind you, but it's instant, you can go to wesellouisville.com and click at the top of the page and fill out that information. We're out of time. Hope you have a great Sunday. We'll see you next Sunday on News Radio 840 WHAS.